This is prep for the real estate licensing exam. So the goal here is to sort of go through this outline and talk about the specific components. Now, just as a quick overview, what the student is about to sit for are two small examinations. They make up the entire licensing examination in the state of Massachusetts. What this will not necessarily cover all the topics for specifically is the general examination. You'll be able to find that elsewhere. For this is specific to the Massachusetts content. But just quickly as an overview, there's two parts to this examination in order to be licensed as a real estate professional in the state of Massachusetts. The first one is the general exam, and that's made up of 80 scored multiple choice questions. So the general exam is 80 questions, and the state-specific component of this exam is 40 questions. Now it's 40 for both the salespersons and it's 40 for the brokers. So if you're watching this and you're looking to get prepared for your broker's examination, it's the same amount of questions that you're being tested on. Just sometimes the differences between those two exams are on the focal points of those specific questions. So for example, they might be talking about a 93A question, but they're going to be very different possible questions for the salesperson, and it's going to be from the perspective of the broker when you're looking at it from the broker's exam. So that's where it's slightly different. But fundamentally, this review will work for both of those examinations for preparation. Now, the 40 questions that are multiple choice will also include 5 to 10 additional questions. They call these pre-test questions. So when the test taker sits and opens up the Massachusetts part of this examination, what they're going to find is 50 questions, okay? 10 of those questions typically are used they're experimenting on the student. What they're trying to figure out is, are these questions appropriate for use on future examinations? So they're trying to figure that out. Now, if they mark them in some specific way, obviously the majority of test takers would never answer them because it'd be a waste of their time during the testing process. So they're not marked in any specific way. The student's not going to know if the question that they are attempting is a pre-test question or an actual scored test question. So the recommendation I'm going to make is answer all questions and give each one the seriousness that each one deserves. So focus on all 50 and know ultimately that they're only scoring you on 40. Now you'll never be able to tell, quite honestly, because I've seen pre-test questions before. It could be some very rudimentary question that you would assume is being scored, or it could be something fairly complex and or simple. It depends on the way that the question bank comes up. Now, there's several versions of these examinations, by the way. So sometimes the exam that you might be taking might focus specifically on one target and avoid other ones. For example, you might get a version of the examination that has very little to none lead paint questions, so there's no lead coverage there. And other versions of the exam may have as many as 4 to 6 lead paint questions out of 40 scored questions. So it depends overall. So keep in mind also that this review is going to be talking about all of the different topics, but certain topics might be represented more significantly on this exam version that you get, and other ones might not be so. But I'm going to try to prepare you as if you're going to get all of these questions, okay? Now, when we come back, what I want to do is I want to actually start to go through the outline and talk about the bullet points, break it down that way, and give you another overview of the outline specific to the Massachusetts State Real Estate Professionals Licensing Examination for either salespersons or brokers.